okay, and makes the atmosphere warmer. And that is called global warming. This phenomenon of trapping we call as greenhouse effect. And then we have this global warming happening. And you know, with global warming, what happens? We said the glaciers melt. And I said, when the glaciers melt, it's not just that the snow comes down and goes into the ocean and the sea level rises. And the sea level, even if it rises little, it's not going to directly affect. Please know, most of these glaciers, at the outset, there is a food ecosystem. There are life forms there. They are losing their habitat. Number of life forms, including polar bear. Number of life forms, they lose their habitat. There's another serious consequence is the glaciers melt, and there are a number of rivers which get water into the river. The why river is a perennial river? Because those rivers which start from Himalayas, they all have water mostly from those springs, that is from the Himalayan ice. So when everything is melted, obviously after a few years, it may not happen tomorrow, it may not happen next year, but it's happening. The impact of polar region, the glaciers melting, is felt by other life forms than us. And I also mentioned in that connection, the Pacific Islands, some of them inhabited by people, they had to leave the island because it's all submerged, inundated. They had to migrate to the mainland. They had to leave their culture, their home, their very life. And then, so we don't realize that. What if glaciers melt? What if the sea level rises? You have learned all these, you have written in the exam, etc., as just like parrots. Today, why we are talking about it? You are smart, thinking, young brains who want to live, who are smart. When I say smart, you want to have a smart life. Okay, so this is precisely what I envisage. Your commitment can go a long way. Your commitment, your responsibility. So we need to reduce this global warming. And then we said with the global warming, there is climate change. The extreme heat can cause erratic climatic conditions. We have seen in winter, it's so warm. See, in Mysore today, suddenly it's warm. Some days it's so cold. So few years back, Mysoreans could never come out without warm clothes during the month of November, December, January, February. Today, I don't think you ever even realize there is it's a winter season. It's not only here, everywhere it's the same. Right? Then extreme heat in summer, right? Which makes more and more water bodies to dry up. It's all happening because of global warming. Most of the water bodies are dried up. The river gets dried up. Okay? So, consequences felt by many people. Just a little while ago, one of our last year student, we were discussing about the migration. Why people have to migrate, why people have to leave their own home, the land, the culture. Because especially people from the rural areas, because there's no water for drinking, forget about cultivation. They have no water for their daily use. Potable water is not available. When the rivers get dried up, when the water bodies are dried up, where do they go? They just have to get out to save their own family, their young ones. I have seen some years back when I went to Gujarat once. Why
because
people have to migrate? Why
sometimes
people have
there
to
is
leave
no
their
rain
own
at all,
home,
and
the
most
land,
of these
the
cattle
culture?
farmers, because
They go
especially people
live
from
here
the
and there
rural,
as young ones.
it seems in
I've
summer when
seen
there
some
is no
years
rain, when
back
there is
when
no
I went to
water,
Gujarat once.
the people don't
Why
bother
people have
about
to
carrying.
migrate?
They simply leave
Sometimes
them to.
have
There
to
is
leave
no
their
rain
own
at
home,
all.
the
And I saw these
land,
dead
the
cattle
cows,
farmers,
dead
because they
animals.
mostly people
Lived
from
here
the
and there
rural.
as young ones.
I was just thinking, they saved themselves, but they have to. Where will they take these animals? Where will they go? So it's a tragedy happening, occurring here and there. It's not as simple as that. And when you come to know the root causes, each one of us, you may ask me a question, what do I do? In what way do I pollute? I don't pollute. Industries pollute. What to say, vehicles, I don't pollute. Last year, class, I mentioned one of the causes and the most serious causes, our own personal contribution to solid waste, our own personal lifestyle. If we do not change, we just have to analyze how much of pollution I am causing as a person. Don't worry about family. Okay? Don't worry about the industry. Don't worry about the shop people. Don't worry about the vehicle. Personally, how manage without this? This morning, I just spoke to a young girl whose wedding is fixed for 4th January. And then with this corona situation, all those frills, all those glamorous, processions or dressing up or sangeet or whatever you call it, all those things are not possible now under the circumstances. So she just told me, can you believe I have to just get married with just not even my relatives, my cousins, just with my parents and my guy's parents. Because I'm not even a bridesmaid or no, beauty. So many things she told me. I said, ultimately, of course, you may not have been even born when Prince Charles and Lady Diana got married, because it was an international event. We all were glued to the TV, BBC, just to watch this wedding, wedding of the century, we so call it. What glamour, what preparation, what, elaborate preparations went on. Finally, they could not live together. They could not stick together. That was a disaster marriage. Okay. Now, why I should talk about foreigners, okay, English people. Our own Ambani's weddings and our famous idols, movie idol, their wedding. End of the day, does that add anything to their personal life, personal bonding? All this glamour. You have your own take on it. I'm not trying to tell you. I'm not trying to tell you why its wedding is only once. I've spoken to parents. My daughter will get only once in life. So we have to have all this. Hello, we need to think. Because the situation is so serious today, we need to think twice, thrice. Should we go for it or should we think differently? High time, the time is up. We need to think differently. We need to be more sensible. That's the word I like to use. Once one European lady told me, Indians are intelligent, but they have no common sense. I felt so hurt about it. I think I mentioned it in your class. And I felt very hurt about it. So to say, even I have no common sense. We pride ourselves. We have lots of intelligent people in our country. But outsiders look at us and say, they have no common sense. When the whole world was, struggling with corona infections, India was very slow to catch up with that. So, but we were waiting. The moment India, because It's going to be more than anybody else, any other country. Because I'm sure it is. Only thing is no proper reporting. People are just managing. They don't make a hue and cry when they get it, and if it is not serious, don't even go to hospital. They just stay at home. Whereas abroad, very few people, okay, with more than 1.3 billions, and without proper infrastructure, no proper hospitals, no healthcare centers, I'm sure there are many more people suffering. Our number, we are second after America, but we call ourselves very sensible, very religious, very, in every way we are the best people. Of course, I have understood, we have depth. But now we have to dig into that depth, core of your being, and ask yourself, what should be, where we should intervene, where we should sit and think. Okay, now coming back to, so we said impact, a serious consequence of global warming, air pollution is greenhouse effect, and those agents or gases which cause this phenomenon, we call it greenhouse gases. Then that causes global warming. We know what happens with global warming. Then that causes climate change. We know what happens with climate change. Now, I suppose all of you by now have understood the minimum, at least something, of global warming. Then I said, I didn't do this talk or sessions for the sake of giving information. No. My objective was that I know there is scope, that you give it a thought. Okay, what remedial measures can you suggest? Whatever, just change your lifestyle. Just make it more simple. Especially when you have lots of disposable goods. In a conference here, yesterday we were just talking, said the young mindset is everything can be disposable. Even life has become so fragile with that. When you move from one town to the other, people just dispose of the furniture, dispose of everything. Of course, in personal life, you use lots of disposable things. So much so people will think, yeah, I can have a partner there when I go there. Even human beings have become disposable. Is it a comfortable scenario, my friends? Think about it. So disposable goods are doing serious harm. Okay, then another word which I explained last time is consumerism. That means we buy and use with beyond what is required. Our need can be satisfied, not our greed, right? So consumerism, disposable goods are doing harm. So consumerism is a personal affair. I decide, do I want to add this? Do I want to use this? So then you will buy a car, you will travel around, you will have a house, you will have a life partner. Is it not something exciting that is you want to look forward? You have a great profession where you will be financially empowered. But then, that means you want to have a life of your own. For that, you also need your environment, healthy environment, clean air, drinking water, and then food which is not poisonous. I'm just sharing it with you. 2 weeks back in the morning, I'm sure those of you are in Karnataka, every morning you hear these places, every street, sopu, that means the greens, which we know it's very healthy. I happened to buy this bunches of greens, and then obviously, prepared it. I tell you, it was washed and washed and washed. And after cooking, while cooking, we could get that DDT smell. we could not eat it. The whole thing was tasting of DDT. Supposed to be very healthy item. DDT taste I got, not the sabji taste or the curry taste. This is what is happening here. So we are not getting clean food, we are not getting clean air, we are not getting clean water, but you have to make sure by your contribution that the air is not polluted, water is not polluted. Now, I suppose I have spoken extensively about air pollution. End of the day, this is not for exam, this is for you to accept in your life. Okay? If I have made you think, and I feel happy about it. Okay. Now, coming back to, I started with water pollution. Then I said, we have various, first of all, we should know what are the resources. What are the various resources of water we have? Potable water I'm talking about. The oceans and the, that's not potable water. It's so salty water, which we cannot use it for drinking or cooking or other purpose. Of course, 3/4 of the biosphere is filled with that water. Okay, the ocean, the seas and the oceans. But that's not potable water. Potable water, I mean, which we can use it. When I say we, all the life forms, okay? Even the animals cannot go to the ocean and drink that water because they also need water. So when I say we, all the life forms, we need potable water. Now, so what are the sources of potable water? Have you given it a thought, any idea? What are the sources of potable water? How do we get water which we can sources I'm talking about? Can somebody unmute and tell me? What are 35% of it is quite a number. That many people use the Ganga river water because it has even tributaries. And it passes through number of states. So the consequence is so, serious. So when you talk about, so we said there is the groundwater and the surface water and the glaciers. With the global warming, glaciers melt and reduce, the quantity reduces. Because of that, end of the day, our rivers are getting polluted because when the water content is less, water quantity is less, the pollution is more. And when the glaciers, the springs cannot supply enough water, that again affects. The perennial rivers become seasonal ones. Okay, that flow is reduced because there is, the river level goes down with so many serious consequences. So we have to pick up one by one. Today, I think I will only talk about, in another few minutes, I'm winding up. So I'll talk about the groundwater pollution. So groundwater is water which is taken out by drilling bore well or digging well. And then that is potable water because we don't have to process it. In most of the areas, the water is really good. We can straight away drink it. But then certain areas, there are lots of minerals mixed with it. So we call it hard water. But people don't use that water. People usually, when they drill a bore well or dig a well, they make sure that groundwater is potable. It doesn't do harm. Too much of mineral, your kidney will be gone. That's why people are usually careful about it. But then that is one of the important sources of water which we have. Then how we pollute it, how we pollute this groundwater. I want you guys to think about it. What are the reasons why groundwater gets polluted? It's in the crust of the earth. It's underground. And then what are the reasons, causes of groundwater pollution? What are the causes of groundwater? Anybody? Can you think of? Hello, have you fallen asleep or are you there? Another 5 minutes, uh, I didn't get you. Can you repeat? Because something else popped up here. Somebody is trying to join now. Okay. Uh, now we dump the waste. Now I'm just more use of chemicals. Yes, very good. Now the industry waste is buried underground. Okay, waste dumping and it leaches into this groundwater. No, most of the time the waste disposal, good. Waste disposal is done. Even nuclear waste is buried underground. Most of the biomedical waste or industry waste, it is buried underground, causing endless harm to the groundwater. Okay, so whatever reasons you said, they're all genuine reasons, they're all right answers. I'm sure there are many more. So now today, one thing which I observe is, people do lots of infrastructure developments. That is, they dig. If they have to construct a structure of maybe 35-floor apartment, they'll have to put foundation. So they dig up and so much deeper they go and they dump so much of concrete. Concrete means cement is there, the iron, so much of all those materials we are dumping into the underground, even during construction of high-rise buildings. Yeah, very good. Mining operations. Okay, Shubha, good. So mining 100% causes, because I was just waiting for someone to come up with that. I think you have gone beyond this classroom. I'm sure people who have lived in a mining area, or at least you have seen a mining area. So see, the irony is that, especially coal mining, the people who live, nobody can live in the vicinity of a coal mine or any other mine because, first of all, the groundwater is polluted, the air is polluted. Highly polluting activity. We missed out this while we were discussing air pollution. Even the air is polluted. So mainly the groundwater pollution happens, when they go disturbed during this activity of mining, because it's not just the coal is there, it's not just the sulfur is there, it's not just that mineral there. It's a mixture of lots of things which have got deposited there. So when that ground is disturbed, okay, for even kilometer, all these, that leaches into all these areas, polluting the groundwater. So mining is a major, okay, somebody has told me another reason, it disappeared, okay. So, so it contaminates the groundwater with mining activity. Just like that, see, most of these industries, it's easily, those who have got compound, okay? When it is solid waste or even liquid waste, highly toxic even, they simply bury it in the ground. Okay, so I think the surface water pollution we'll pick up one by one, river water or all that. Do you have any questions, my friends? Otherwise, we wind up because you may be having another class. Is there any questions you have? If you have any questions, I'll ask. So I expect you to know notes. Yeah, I'm just. So this is the question which every time I'm answering, we say notes. If I'm too fast, you can tell me you're fast, we want to catch up, we want to. I said the best way to prepare notes is, just make notes while you are listening to me. I can repeat, there's no problem. So, but that's the best way to, and these are points which, for exam preparation, ma'am. Okay, good. I know your apprehension, your insecurity about this. You have to write an exam. I'm telling you, my answer is, while you are listening to me, make notes. How many times I repeated? What are air pollutants? How many times I repeated the definition of greenhouse effect? Greenhouse gases, global warming, climate change. Then I again repeated. Last time I started with water resources, surface water, groundwater, how they get polluted. We are just starting the discussion. We'll continue with that. But I earnestly suggest that you make notes while you listen to. Make sure, am I too fast? Can you catch up with whatever I am talking? We are in an, it's an abnormal situation. It's okay. Somebody told me she's taking notes while I'm talking. If you want again and again, I can just give you points and so that you are able to. Okay, Madmita, I'm sure. I try to talk as simple as possible, as down to earth as possible, as slow as possible, so that you are with me, These are the things what is required. And plus, if you need extra information, we can also get lots of information. But you need information for writing the exam. You need food for thought listening to me. That is where I would like to conclude. I can make you think. The information is available, plenty. Right? Okay? Shall we say bye-bye? Thank you so much for your nice comments. Okay. That makes me more positive. I take a class and I get more positive energy. Okay. Have a nice
Okay,
afternoon.
thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Till we
Thank you,
meet
ma'am.
again. Okay. We are hoping
Thank
to
you, ma'am.
divide and take so we'll have more interaction next time. Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, ma'am. Have a good
Thank you,
day.
ma'am.
You too.
Thank you, ma'am.
It's a pleasure.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Bye-bye
Thank you,
then.
ma'am.